guys, welcome back. In the last video, I did questions 1 through 10 of Blue Book Practice 5, and right now we're going to do questions 10 through 20. So, continuing with the English section, the question says, which quotation from Looking Back on Girlhood most effectively illustrates this claim? So, let's look for his claim. In the story, the narrator explains that she prefers her hometown to other places she has visited. Okay, so we're going to look through each one. There is something always fresh, something to be traced or discovered, something particular to be remembered. So this does not prove that she likes her hometown. This is the opposite. Two large rivers join just below the village at the head of Tidewater, and these, with the great inflow from the sea, make a magnificent stream bordered by the lovely green fields that slope gently to long lines of willows at the water's edge. This doesn't show anything about the village, it just describes the setting. I have had a good deal of journeying in my life and taken great delight in it, but I have never taken greater delight than in my rides and drives and tramps and voyages within the borders of my native town. Okay, so this could work, so we'll keep that. And for D, it says there's never-ending pleasure in making oneself familiar with such a region. This doesn't reveal anything about her hometown. Number 12. Which response from a survey given to shoppers who made a purchase at a retail store best supports the researcher's explanation? So we'll read through the passage. External shopping queues are a type of marketing that uses obvious messaging. A display featuring a new product, for example, a buy one, get one free offer to entice consumers to make spontaneous purchases. In a study, data scientist Sam K. Hui and colleagues found that this effect can also be achieved with a less obvious cue. Rearranging a store's layout. So they're providing a different example of the same claim. The researchers explained that trying to find new items in a new location causes shoppers to move through more of the store, exposing them to more products, increasing the likelihood that they'll buy an item they hadn't planned on purchasing. So the store layout causes the people to buy things that they don't need because they walk through more of the store. So we need to find a quote that supports that. I needed to buy some cleaning supplies, but they weren't in the regular place. When I was looking for them, I saw this interesting notebook and decided to buy it too. This could definitely work because they wanted to buy cleaning supplies, but they bought a notebook instead. I didn't buy everything on my shopping list today. I couldn't find a couple of items in the store, even though I looked for all of them. This doesn't show that they're buying new items. The store sent me a coupon for a new brand of soup, so I came here to find out what kind of soups the brand offers, so I decided to buy cans of soup, and because I had the coupon. This doesn't show buying unnecessary items. The store is much larger than the ones closer where I live, and it carries more products. I came here to buy some things that the other store doesn't always have. The claim wants to see how the rearranging of the store changes. This doesn't show that. So it's answer A. Which choice most logically completes the text? Even with the widespread adoption of personal computers, many authors still choose to write and revise their novels by hand and only then transcribe the final version on a computer. It may be tempting to speculate about how a novel written this way would be effective if it had exclusively been typed instead, but each novel is a unique entity resulting from a specific set of circumstances. Okay, so many authors still write it and then type it. So that's what the authors do. And it may be tempting to speculate about how a novel written this way would be affected. So they're wondering how it would have been different if it was just typed instead. But each book comes from a specific set of circumstances. Okay, so we have to find something that shows uniqueness. In order to increase efficiency, already know we don't talk about efficiency at all. More success, never proven, doesn't say anything about success here. Takes less time to produce, no. So it's not A. So D is the right answer um, because it's different for each set of circumstances. There's no way to reasonably tell how it had been different if it were written in a different way. Number 14. Which most logically completes the text? Behavioral ecologists Will Wiggins, Sarah Bonds, and Sean Wilder have examined the behavior of field-collected lamprey-reared bull-jumping spiders. They found a positive association between experimental high diet proteins and aggressive behavior in field-collected males, and a similar association between experimental high lipid diets and aggressive behavior in lab. Okay, so they're comparing protein and field-collected and lipid and lab-collected. Field-collected spiders have shown a preference for flowers manipulated to display ultraviolet preference. Lab spiders' preference are red food coloring. So wild spiders like violet ones, and lab ones like red ones. Wiggins, Bounds, and Wilder never concluded that. Okay. Rearing conditions likely affect the responses of bull jumping spiders to experimental stimuli. This could be true. Being raised in a laboratory reduces aggression. Never proven. Doesn't say anything about that. Laboratory settings are more suitable for studying bull jumping spiders' diets than their flower preferences. Well, their flower preferences and diets are linked, so that wouldn't make sense. Experiments involving bull jumping spiders should make of use of lab reared individuals. They do already make use of it, so that wouldn't really flow with that. Okay, so this is now the grammar section. So I'm going to walk through how to look at these questions. Which choice completes the text so it conforms to conventions of standard English? So we'll read through it. In forecasting weather events, meteorologists sometimes discuss the role of atmospheric rivers. What are atmospheric rivers and how? Blank. So we have to look. So 2 of the answers end with a period and 2 of the answers end with a question mark. So when a sentence starts with what, it usually references to a question. So we can immediately get rid of A and B. So we're just going to have to think through our head how each one sounds. What are atmospheric rivers and how do they affect our weather? That sounds correct. So we'll keep that. D. What are atmospheric rivers and how they do affect our weather? That doesn't work because it's putting the pronoun before the verb, so that wouldn't make sense because the verb has to come before the pronoun. The soundtrack to Mira Nair's 1991 film Mississippi Masala expressively captures the clashing of cultures that happens when blank. So the first word in each is it's. So we're going to have to look at the subject. A young Indian woman from Uganda and a young African American man from Mississippi. And it's is referencing the film. So when it's referencing the film, it's not it's with an apostrophe. It's with an apostrophe is it is. So that's a description, so it wouldn't work. And right here there's a apostrophe showing possessiveness. So it's the protagonist. It's not showing any possessiveness, so it has to be D. Same questions. Okay. Julia Alvarez's 1994 novel In the Time of the Butterflies, a fictional account of the lives of the Mirabelle blank. Okay. So we're gonna have to just look at the flow of the sentence. In the Time of the Butterflies, a fictional cast account of the lives of Mirabelle's sisters. Okay, so if this ends with sisters, comma, we can take the entire thing out. So imagine getting rid of that highlighted part, and you have to look if that still flows. We could read through it if we just get rid of it. Julia Alvarez's 1994 novel, In the Time of the Butterflies, can serve as a starting point for those who want to explore. So that would work because it's a smooth transition without the sentence in between the commas. So when you put a sentence between the commas, that means that it's unnecessary information and can work without it.